The Spirit of Chartwell, with the Palace of Westminster in the background. And when that building first appeared on the landscape, on the banks of the River Thames, what, 5 centuries ago, longer than that, Edward the Confessor it was who founded the Palace of Westminster, and for a long, long time it became the seat of power, of royal power, until it is now, of course, identified with representative government and parliament, almost fading away into the background. And at this point, let me introduce you to a gentleman who's sat beside me in the commentary box, sailor and author, Tom Cunliffe. And I'll tell you what, he knows everything there is to know about boats, but also, more importantly, I think, Tom, navigation. Now, because of the twists and the turns in the river, are any of these boats going to have a problem at all today?
Well, what's interesting, actually, is that I'm watching the flags on these boats, and they're blowing across the boats, which is making it quite gentle at the moment. But when they turn to the right at Westminster, they're going to have it smack on the nose, which means Her Majesty's going to get a bit chilly, and the man-powered boats are going to have much more of a struggle than they've had so far. But looking at them, they seem to have been managing pretty well.
National Theatre, the Royal Festival Hall, and we've got some semaphore here just on the top level of the Royal Festival Hall. Tom, I think you can understand that, can't you?
I haven't got a clue.
there was me thinking we had an expert in the room. I think it's sending best messages to Her Majesty the Queen. It's not just people waving flags, it all means something to those people who understand it. An absolutely invaluable way of communication between ships. Certainly before the invention of transistors, etc. I think that would probably mean something to the Duke of Edinburgh, being a sailor too. With her sister Eugenie as part of the royal party.
Seeing the boats come through the bridge here is fascinating, because shutting the Thames barrier has meant there's very little current. If the current was sweeping down here, as it would have been otherwise, some of these boats would have been in danger of being swept onto those pontoons of the bridges. But it's a magnificent effort that's been made to essentially cut the current by manpower, which has made this whole thing a lot less dramatic than it otherwise would have been.
Well, certainly the Thames barrier, which we won't be seeing today, is a masterpiece of engineering. It just makes you wonder, actually, how they managed, when the Thames barrier wasn't there, to have things like pageants on the river, which of course they did a long, long time ago.
There are a lot less bridges in those days, Paul. And also the river was a lot wider, so the currents would have been a lot slower. But today, to put something like this on with a full ebb tide, which it would have been, well, frankly, pretty hairy. There would certainly have been some incidents.
Well, so far, so good today. The National Theatre, and a very special moment for the Queen, the home of that great theatrical production War Horse, which I understand the Queen is a great, great fan of. There it is on top of the National Theatre. Even the horse saluting. That moment has taken them 9 months to prepare. We certainly know what a passion she has for horses.